The louder they roar, the harder they fall. Have you ever heard this quote? Actually, if you know me, you know I'm the queen of the quotes, and I always like to start my videos with one. This is actually from Kofi. She is a really, really young, amazing Jamaican reggae artist who was singing about, the politicians and people in fame, and the louder they roar, the harder they fall. So actually the new moon right now, we're going to have that in Leo, and it's gonna happen in 2 degrees. So 2 degrees, and let me see my little book over here, and 2 degrees and 8 minutes, right? And it's happening tonight. And I'm recording this video very late for you guys. But the lunation was always from new moon till full moon. So everything that I'm going to talk about here, it's going to unfold within 6 months. So uh, very, very important. And also because we're going to have next year Leo and Aquarius axis with the North Node and the South Node moving there, and the eclipse is going to start in February 17. That's why this lunation is very important for all of us. So if you're new to my channel, please give me a chance, subscribe, and actually comment below and give me a like. It really helps to grow my channel. I have hard time somehow to grow it, maybe because I'm talking about the truth, and truth speakers many times are actually censored. Also, I love asteroids, and I also love fixed stars as well. So many times I'm going to talk about that. And then I always talk about archetypes, and I always talk about the planetary energies, and I'm teaching you why I'm talking to you. I shared the picture over here, actually the chart of the moon here for you, because I asked you if you would like to see or not. So here it is. The new moon is happening at 2 degree Leo, and it's opposing Pluto in Aquarius. So we will have to talk about not only the moon, but the aspect it makes as well. And the moon also going to make a trine with Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and it's going to make a sextile to Uranus. So why is it important? And look at the configuration, what it makes, right? It's making actually a beautiful saving grace, which is a mystic triangle, and it's do make wedges here, two wedges, right? Here it is, and an opposition, and obviously we were talking about the opposition, always Saturnian in flavor, so it's always a hard aspect. The other things are, for example, the sextile, it's Venusian in flavor. It's not granted, but it is an easy kissing aspect, and the trine always a granted aspect for us in heaven. But we also have to talk about the archetype. We also have to talk about what does the new moon represent. And as you know, the new moon representing a new beginning. You are actually planting a seed. And many times when I'm talking about a new moon, I'm talking about planting seeds. It is, summer times, what can you plant? Do something which is actually Leonian energy. So it could be also sunflower, anything to do with marigolds. That's all Leo energy. If you would like to, because it's helping you to start something new in your life. All right, you can have citrine, you can have emberon, you can have the sunset and sunrise color as well. I'm gonna go back to the beach, and I'm going to see the sunset right now. That's it's a very, very beautiful honoring the moon in Leo. Also, you have to know what the Leo rules, right? So Leo rules the fifth house. What is the fifth house, guys? You all know that. This is creativity. This is children, lottery winning. It's anything to do also with joy, pleasure with your lover. It's anything to do with creativity, creative project, anything to do with gambling, for example, as well, risky investment as well. And also it is ruling your heart as well. So we're going to talk about that. And that is also very the cradle itself, because there is a cradle over here. It is also an amazing aspect because it only includes one opposition, but everything else are sextile and trine, and it is including two missing triangle and two wedges, right? So that is an amazing aspect in heaven. Through this new moon. And we also have to talk about what does the Leo represent in our chart. So yes, it's your heart. You are actually centered, heart centered. You are having some kind of breakthrough in creativity, in bold self-expression. Leo is a fire sign and Leo is fixed sign. So actually this new moon, if you have anything in fixed sign, and fixed signs are Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, between 0 to 8 degrees, then it's going to affect you a lot and it's going to square with you. So it's not going to necessarily be very positive or very pleasant. It's a push for you. But if you have anything in fire sign, guys, anything to do with Sagittarius or Leo, or anything to do with Aries as well, early degrees until up to 8 degrees, it's going to trine with you. So it's going to be very, very pleasant for you guys. I do have my own moon. I have a moon return, a lunar return right now. I have a moon in Leo. And, also have my North Node, for example, in Sagittarius as well. So it's aspecting me very well. All right. But if you have, for example, anything to do with Aquarius and Scorpio, Paul, my husband, and my Martin, they are going to take it a little bit more difficult, right? So yes, so that is definitely joyous because new moon, it is something playful, it is something creative, it is something with love, with children. For example, enjoy the summer with children. But don't forget, guys, it is going to oppose Pluto, and Pluto is in Aquarius, and Pluto is in Aquarius, forcing the old actually to release the old, right? We are actually emerging and we are creating something new right now. So it is very, very intense. This opposition, it's very, very intense and really, truly emotional. Plus, it's going to trine with Saturn and Neptune conjunction. Saturn-Neptune conjuncted actually in July 20th, a little bit before, from the 15th. So it created some kind of hardship, obviously, but because it's trining with the moon, it's going to support creativity. It's going to be some kind of discipline. Saturn is disciplined, supportive, structural. Joy, for example, for many, it's not necessarily going to be soulful, but it could be something to do with long term. So perhaps you worked very hard to become and be in a professional league, because fifth house also managers, agent, anything to do with record label studio, anything to do with like sport leagues as well. So it could be like you worked very hard, and right now it's going to promise for some of you some kind of permanent status in a league as well. And it's also going to sextile with Uranus, and Uranus is in Gemini right now. So Uranus in Gemini actually is the genius. It is ability to think, and also it is cryptocurrency as well, anything to do with technological platforms. So definitely it's going to affect crypto and it's going to affect technology as well, fresh ideas, sudden insights, because Uranus also is the Akashic record when we are downloading information and we are capable to write. And this new moon, you are writing a screenplay, for example. So it could happen for you as well. It did happening for me. It does happening for me, but for anyone else as well. All right. And we also have to talk about a fixer, which is Alcicon. Alcicon is between 0 degree Leo to 0 degree 54 minutes, actually. So it's in 1 degree around. And it is a conjunction with this new moon because the moon happening in 2 degrees. And Osakon actually could be something to do with perseverance in grief and the promise of renewal. Anything to do also with a fiery joy over here, because you are leaving the darkness and you are capable to enter the light after darkness. That's what it means. Leo actually is the solar king or the solar queen. So also, as I said, it's leadership as well. It's the CEO, for example, the noble courage, the lioness and the lions are the noble kings and queens. And the opposition with Pluto, actually, it could bring up some kind of heroic myth as well, because it could be like somebody is emerge from the public and going to become a leader and going to actually take down the recent corrupted leader. So it could be like in some countries we're going to experience that, right? And what Uranus is going to sextile with Uranus, so it's sudden, or it could be some kind of leaking through social media or some kind of cyber attack, right? Leaking through, X or whatever. But also it could be, and Uranus in Gemini also data. So it could leak some data out, but also it's trining with Saturn and Neptune, which could be like Neptune, Saturn. Saturn is structure, and Neptune is underprivileged, unprivileged people, the society who are pressed actually on the side of the society, jail, prison, orphanages, hospice, things like that. Mm. And this is going to help rebuild something with compassion. Rebuild something with compassion. It's very important to understand, all right? So, yes, so the archetype actually of the moon is, as we were talking about, that Leo is the performer. Leo loves center of attention. Leo loves stage, guys. It is, the sovereign, the inner child. This is the inner child. Fifth house is not only your children, but your inner child as well. And as I said, the solar queen and the solar king. And, also mythologically, Leo is actually tied to Apollo, the sun god, right? And it's very prophetic and musical and a healer as well. And also, it's also tied to Hercules as well, because Hercules was the one who, with bare hands, laid, for example, the lion, right? And Leo is radiant. It's performative and has a lot of personal power as well. And like to be applauded for. So yes, right now we all need to ask ourselves, what are we living for approval or for purpose? Because of its opposing Pluto in Aquarius, and Pluto in Aquarius, it is humanitarian purposes over there. Plus, because we have the North Node also in Pisces, guys, that is very definitely compassionate as well. Okay, so Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius is actually the shadow of the collective genius. All right, so the reformer, anyone who is breaking taboos. For example, Pluto is taboo, Uranus is breaking it. The alchemist, and if you haven't read The Alchemist, yes, from Paulo Coelho, then read it, because that was one of the transformative book for me. I truly love it. Or Sepesh Maria, Red Lion. Those both really good to read it right now during this half year. So give yourself a chance. Also in mythology, Pluto rules the underworld. It's ruled by Hades, right? Pluto is Hades. And the unseen wealth, it rules the eighth house in Scorpio. Anything to do with shadow government, shadow power, it is corruption as well, the inventable transformation as well. So, but Aquarius actually, it's the collective. It is a humanitarian project, non-profits. And it is a rebirth over here in Aquarius. And You also have to think about Prometheus stealing the fire for humanity and suffering for it. So Pluto in Aquarius, that's what it is, like somebody going to be a whistleblower, somebody going to give something to the public, a fire which is going to be used uh, against the kings by the public. So, for example, somebody can release the Epstein file secretly, or it could be through cyber attack and things like that. And that person, as a whistleblower, is going to be somehow suffering from that decision, but it's worth it anyway for the person, right? It is very Prometheus-like. So it's very, very disruptive change to a group or a system, for example. And you can actually, because power, Pluto is power, right? And the sun and the new moon, it's the sun is the king Leo, it's Leo king. So it's falling under. So it's going to be very destructive energy with the opposition to Pluto, something to do with idols going to fall as well. Anything to do with ego driven leaders, they are going to live in shadow and they're going to lose their power really, really soon. They can be actually um, uh, like the power. The Pluto in Aquarius is also some kind of justice from the public, justice from the public. So somebody could get into jail or stoned, who knows, but something like that could happen as well. All right. And then we're going to have Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries. Saturn in Aries actually is the warrior architect, right? It is like building, but building with purpose, building with I know I have to build buildings to protect others because Saturn could be the guardian of boundaries, right? It's very, very important, the strategies, the inner actually authority as well for us. So mythology Saturn is Kronos, guys, right? And it is the lord of karma, it is the lord of boundaries, and he is also the master builder as well, and it's in Aries. So Aries ruled by Mars, so it's very, very raw instinct over here. So it could become like a soldier becomes a general, someone who is more like just a general soldier going to become someone who is leading a whole army, for example. um, but there is also Saturn, it's something like a sword with Mars, so something with irony, something stable. It is, justice system as well, somehow because karmic justice. So it could bring in some kind of karmic justice in areas, right? It is also discipline of desires because of the moon itself. It likes to be flamboyant. It's a Leo moon. Leo moon for me always princesses and princes, and I have Leo moon, and I like to be spoiled. Yes, and my son has Leo moon also, and he is definitely a little king over there. But because he also has the ascendant close to Regulus, but I'm talking about over here, the Saturnian energy, even if it's a sextile, no, trine with this moon, it's going to bring in discipline for desires as well. Because Saturn is responsibility. So Saturn actually going to ask for responsibility. Even if you have some kind of achievement, sorry, even if you have some kind of amazing achievement in art, or if you're going to become a leader, a CEO, but it brings in responsibility, full of leaders. You know what's happened with that stupid guy who cheated on the wife, that astronomer CEO. And I mean, I can't even believe how stupid men can be sometimes, like really, literally. But whatever, the wife is smart. I'm happy for her. She is divorcing, but like a fall, because of joy, pleasure, cheating, fifth house Leo was cheating, you know, full of a CEO, multiple. It's not just that one, but it could happen to a lot of people during this time. Uh, It is because it's sextiling with Saturn, and Saturn is responsibility. It's almost like you don't get everything what you desire unless you are taking responsibility and you work hard for it. So Saturn is hard work as well. And then we also have Neptune in Aries. And you know, Neptune is ocean. Aries is ruled by Mars, it's fire. Neptune doesn't like heated water, it doesn't like to be heated. However, Neptune in Aries could be the reawakening the spiritual warrior inside in us. So that could be really, really good because, you know, Neptune is the martyr, it's the dreamer, it's, but in Aries it could become the visionary, for example, rebel or the fighter who is fighting for dreams come true. Uh, and in mythology, obviously, you know, like Poseidon, and there is also it's also what I wanted to say over here. Uh, hmm. Yes, so definitely call for actions because it's Mars ruled and Mars is actions, Mars is bold energy, and Neptune is something to do with dreams and spiritual download as well. So it will not become delusional anymore, but it's going to take bold actions and it's going to battles and redemptions. That's what it is, right? It is something to do with spiritual wars, you know, sacred wars for us, compassionate wars, standing up for the unprivileged. So that's very, very important. And Uranus in Gemini actually is because it's the trickster of the mind, you know, very, very genius. It's like you cannot it's like the perfect chess player, for example. Also, so Uranus in Gemini, I could be actually a little bit evil through, you know, people, the genius people who use their power, who use their knowledge against something. I'm talking about Peter Steele and also, you know, Musk as well. It could be that kind of archetype. You know, Einstein was Uranus in Gemini, or there is like atypical, or what is that? What I like that show, Young Sheldon. It's very Uranus in Gemini, but some of them use it for bad, obviously. But Uranus is Gemini, anything to do with the trickster, the messenger, the rebel genius, anything to do with the inventor. And because of its sextiling with it, I told you guys there is something coming out from, for example, leaders. It could be again a war between Elon Musk and Trump, obviously, and it's something, some kind of cyber attack, or maybe Peter Thiel going to release something as well. All right, so it's a whistleblower, but it could be someone also with weaponizing, you know, like humor. So I told you guys before in my previous videos because Gemini is very witty, right? And I told you that it's going to be a lot of stand-up comedists and comedists who are going to use their platform to spread the truth. And it is what's happening. And as you said, as you see the change in the US between the MAGA leaders like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owen, David Smith, Tim, the big fat guy, I forget his name, but actually he was not Trumper. But you know, they all actually changed their narratives right now, and they are against the whole entire MAGA movement. They see clearly right now, right? So that's what's happening. That because of Uranus in Gemini, the trickster, and they can actually create and tell the truth through their platform, but it is through some kind of comedy and also the Daily Show because I have a lot of anxiety to watching the news, but I do have to watch the news because I have to actually analyze the synodic cycle and the planetary cycle. And I'm already written all the 2026 horoscope and financial astrology. You can purchase videos or you can purchase all the written horoscope from me or the financial as well. And the calendar turned out to be amazing. It's very well written. I made it, and Ian Altastar made what is that, the artwork of it. So we collaborated and it turned out to be amazing. So if you would like to, and it's very detailed, um, to purchase, let me know. It's $35 the calendar. All right. And also, if you want to buy all the 12 signs written, it's over 100 pages each signs. It is the 12 signs for $222, but each signs written, it's 35. Otherwise, just let me know what would you like. And the financial astrology, I actually help you with global investment. What I wrote for you guys, because I'm also working with Ian and I'm doing a software for 3 years already. I'm writing it. He's just going to put that in data and in software, but it's going to be financial astrology. So you're going to be capable to compare your chart with whatever IPO or ICO you want to invest in. And it's going to see the geopolitical issues around as well and what is affecting investment or how the market is manipulated. So it's really good. This year, I already made with my financial astrology investment $68,000. I mean, I'm not a big investor because I don't have a lot of money, but I'm giving advice to, I mean, I'm helping big investors and they are making millions through my advices. All right. So that's going to be very good for everyone. Okay. But that could be so weaponizing humor, Uranus in Gemini. So that's what you have to know about. But definitely, Saturn and Neptune offer vision with structure, blueprint for the soul. And then Uranus offers something sudden script or rewrite your whole entire uh, life, actually, because Uranus, if it's conjunct or trying to your sun or conjunct or with your moon, it's a totally new life for a lot of people. But you're going to rewrite your script. And Pluto is like the stage of Hades. So it is whatever hurted you, traumas, whatever was hidden, it's going to come up. And actually, I like it because whenever something is coming up, they're capable to face it and you're capable to fight with it until you don't know who is your enemies, until you don't know, what kind of uh, trauma you need to face, you won't be able to fight with it. So that's very, very good. And the moon itself, it's very sacred. It's something heart-centered, something loving and joyous. And within 6 months, we're going to actually have a lot of creative project coming out as well. Yes. So, for example, I talked about the Aries and Sagittarius as well. Because it's going to trine with it. So if you have any planet between 0 to 8 degrees in Aries, and Saturn and Neptune also there for you, so it could be some kind of visionary action, anything to do with courage, and you're going to be inspired to take a leap or to become a CEO or things like that. Also, if you have anything in Leo, for example, it's going to be a central, a personal moment for you. You're going to, for example, declare a new identity, or you're going to begin something new in your life. It is really like you are shining. It depends which house your sun, moon, or anything is in Leo, but you're gonna shine. And if you have anything in Sagittarius, it's an expansion, something to do with creativity and big ideas or philosophy or a new adventure. You might going to move abroad within half year, right? So that's very, very important. But these three signs going to have something bold creativity, anything to do with inner renewal, right? And the fixed signs, which is Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, they are going to be touched by the square with Pluto or the conjunction. So it's going to create deep transformation for you guys as well. And we have to also talk about the Sabian symbol. And, we're also going to go up 1 degree. So it's 2 degrees, 8 minutes Leo. So it's going to happen in 3 degrees Leo, right? And the 3 degrees Leo actually is a fair square, and it's attended by enthusiastic crowd. So what does it mean? That is typical Leo energy, right? Enthusiastic and, performative archetype and inviting public, uh, and it's a celebration, it's emotional, it's heart connection between people. But, there is a risk because it's opposing Pluto. You are losing yourself in the audience. You get a position, you get to be celebrated, and you're not going to be yourself anymore. So, because of you, uh, that's very, very important. Even if you shine fully, don't give up your core personality and who you are, because it could come with this kind of new moon within 6 months, right? So you need to declare your truth. And you also activate structure and imagination as well. And you have to release outdated ego, or you embrace some kind of rebirth because it's opposing with Pluto. And the moment you give that up, some kind of new innovative expression coming into your life, something new, a new friend, a new idea, a new perspective as well. So, how can it actually unfold for the collective, for the mundane? So, if you know me, I love mundane astrology for the collectives, and I'm trying to be very precise, so I read the news before always, or listen the news. That's why I have a lot of anxiety. And look, I just shuffling the cards, and of course, a Leo King came up over here, but it's just accident, but that's definitely for the Leo new moon. But because I wanted to talk about leaders and actually the king itself, so something could happen actually with King Charles, because it's opposing the moon, also the Pluto also, and King Charles also have a Leo rising, right? And it has a midheaven in Taurus. So it's a square and it's a T square over there. So definitely it could be something to do with his within half year, maybe his health is going to be so ill and so weak, he won't be able to lead anymore. Who else is Leo? GD Vance and Trump also has Leo placement, especially Trump has Mars and has the ascendant in Leo, and also he has progressed Saturn in Leo. Vance also has very 25 degrees Leo ascendant, so it's not going to conjunct, but it's still happening in that sign, right? And Trump also has progress Sun in Scorpio, as not in Scorpio. Yes, let me see. I have to see something over here. I don't want to see anything stupid. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, and by the way, Israel has a lunar return and it's opposing Pluto. So something is going to affect the public of Israel, and it is going to be a power struggle over there. So that can be something very serious, either because of the new moon, also the king. So their king is going to actually be, like jailed or something like that. So Netanyahu or Israel itself, the public of Israel could suffer from within half year. We can see that some kind of downturn over there. Yes, but Trump, I don't know what I wanted to say with Trump. Oh yes, the progress. Yes, the progress sun is in Scorpio. Uh, Okay, no, it can be in Scorpio because then he would be 200 years old. No, I don't find Trump right now. I only know I have Saturn. He has Saturn in 3 degrees Leo, so it's going to conjunct the moon and it's opposing Pluto. So yes, that's for sure. And right now I just don't find it. I don't know why, but I'm not going to take time with that. I'm sorry. I even mentioned it. All right. So what else? But that's we are talking about populist leaders, and they're going to also rise and fall from power. So the one who are for example, corrupt, because Pluto is corruption, going to be revealed. And it could be through social media, through some kind of platform, social media platform or cyber attacks, right? Data is released for the public. And then a new kind of leader coming in. And who gonna come from the leader who are very Aquarian, very new, who are actually tech savvy or anything to do with like very humanitarian. It could be someone who is really, really humanitarian as well. All right. And then there could be some kind of royal and celebrity crisis as well. I was talking about King Charles as well. But, anything to do with Prince Harry and Meghan, that's kind of new spiral in their relationship, or because Meghan Markle also has Leo placement as well. So it could be something like that. But, something to do with some kind of scandals around them. And you can also think of PDD, because PDD has actually a Scorpio stellium. And I would think something is coming back with his, because he only got about 20 years, but if he behaves well, then within 6, 8 years, he could be actually let out of prison, unfortunately. And I do believe some kind of new testament or some kind of new case going to rise against Didi, which is going to actually make sure he stay and rotten in hell, in jail, because that's what he should do. I'm sorry to say that, but anyone who sex traffics or who abuse others and raping, that's supposed to be get the right judgment over them. All right, and then it could be something to deal with innovation in entertainment business as well. And it could be something to do with Netflix, for example, or ChatGPT, for example. There could be something with new ChatGPT. But imagine something with avatars, because Leo is performing. So right now, we're going to have ChatGPT, a person is coming out like a hologram, and then they are talking to us. So it could be that. Let me just drink some water, because right now I don't feel good for some reason. And okay, so I'm going to put that on full screen and just stop for a little bit. Correct. I'm recording. What? And we get find out. We're going to make it stop. Yeah, we're fine. You're looking at that. In that. Easy. Here's something. Oh my God. Hold on. It's not. He's no. Rabbit dog. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going. I'm putting socks on. Isn't he such a good boy? Oh, you're calling me a good boy. No, no, no. He's stressed. He's outside. Please let me go. He's outside. You want to say hi? Then you guys come back, okay? I love you, Mom. I love you. All right. Okay, so I'm on. Okay, good. Because I didn't know if I'm on or not, but let me just share again this with you guys. And let me just go on not full screen. Hmm. Yeah, the boys were fighting, and and I had to redirect them, because somehow they, I don't know, I mean, they are teenagers, but they still fighting. Okay, all right. And then I don't know what am I doing right now. Um, So, what I wanted to talk about also. So going back, yes, so that could be something to do with, virtual reality, anything to do with, but it could be some kind of new company which is going to overtake Netflix or going to partnership up with Netflix as well, AI contact creators, for example. All right, and it could be also because of the sextile with Uranus and also the opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. Like because it's power, Pluto is power, it could be already affecting the midterm elections in different campaigns anywhere in, the US or, in other countries as well. So, for example, Hungary also have an election in 2026, but right now they are doing also propaganda right now. And it will be some kind of AI-generated propaganda created by AI, and you won't know if it's like false, and because it's the enemy clips, or if it is going to be real about the person who is going to midterm for elections. So those videos could be very, very problematic, right? Because that's Pluto, it's power struggle. But platforms like Twitter or TikTok, going to become the digital battleground for elections and everything going. The war it's going to be fought online first, so that's for sure. And that could be also something to do with some kind of new creative youth revolution. Why do I say that? Because of fifth house is youth, fifth house is sport league. For example, we might going to find out a sport league or a group, whatever they're using a lot of steroids, or they are manipulating their genes or something like that. Some craziness could happen as well. They're getting like some kind of chips and they can perform better. But also, Gen Z, that is the creative youth revolution over here. And, they're not only going to demand, actions on climate change, but also they will demand some kind of fair AI laws or something to do with intelligence, emotional intelligence in politics, or something to do with stop genocide around the world. So definitely, and it could be they are coming with some kind of creativity, anything to do with graphic novels, or they're gonna write about, or it's a new superhero. Someone is coming up with a new superhero movie or a superhero book, something like that. So it's also possible. But as I said, government's going to collapse and there will be a lot of scandals. And, anything to do, as I said, Israel, UK, anything to do with Hungary, with, multiple Belgium around the world because of leaked recordings coming out, leak recordings. So that's very, 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 very important. Leo is pride, Pluto is downfall, explosion, right? And through social media. All right, someone who thought he has charisma and gone down, to hell. And also cryptocurrency. And, because of we are talking about gold as well and luxury, because Leo also luxury as well, guys. So that could be something to do with some kind of quick rise in luxurious items, but because it's opposing Pluto, it's a quick downfall as well. Or you're going to buy stocks in deep, but because celebrity invested in it, and it's a big high around it, but it's not going to worth anything, and it's fraud. So be careful with fraud, and like it could trigger actually Pluto opposition crash. I would think right now something gonna happen with uh, with the silver and gold also. Maybe it's not necessarily downfall of the price, so decrease of the price, but somehow limited to buy because maybe it's in 90% of gold and silver is in the hand of powerful people, and the general public won't be able to invest anymore, something like that. It could be also like a queer or a female leader going to rise from nothing, Pluto opposition. It is the axis energy, like Phoenix. It was destroyed before, like ashes, and it's rising again. All right. Um, but creativity, voice, that definitely it could be something. It could be a political activist, or it could be a new star coming up because Leo could be someone who is a new star as well. But it could be also censorship, opposing Pluto power, on artistic expression, for example. So it could be like you are generating with AI a lot of new, not books, but it's animations or whatever, and it's going to be censored because of they're not going to take anything what was created by AI. Yes, so definitely, Iran, Russia, China, those are together. And for example, they can, for example, jail the people who are doing something against or who perform and create something against the government. However, that's not necessarily Iran, China, and Russia as well, because as we see, it's happening in the US, guys, and there is major censorship. The Second Amendment. I mean, we cannot talk anymore, and it could be like, all right, you know what, you are censored, you cannot perform, you can't be on public anymore, you cannot be on social media, you're going to lose your channel. Threaten people. And I told you before, like 6 months ago, I mentioned in my videos, I'm really scared for Candice Owen and Tucker Carlson, and they are coming for them. So I hope nothing gonna happen with them, but because a lot more people are talking out, and thanks God, if we're talking a little bit about Israel, because I told you guys it's going to affect them as well because they have a lunar return, so Pluto opposition their moon in 4 degrees also, and this moon is triggering that. It's going to create a downfall in the public and also or the public sentiment about Israel. The whole world is turning against because of the Mossad and the APEC power is coming out, and everybody gonna see clearly, obviously, and it could be something to do with that. So we will see, but yes, and it could be also celebrity gets cyber attacked, anything to do with some kind of deep fake, deep state government and fake scandals, but also celebrities could be cyber attacked as well or attacked as well. Um, so anything even with Elon Musk, I would, well, Musk has actually, stellium in Cancer and Jupiter is in exaltation. So even if Tesla, right now he moved away from Trump and Tesla is performing and he's creating Tesla houses and he's still working on Starlink, which could be available for the public for $300 and you don't have to pay internet. You just buy the phone and the internet is free everywhere on the world. That's something genius. And the Tesla houses, I was looking into it, is $7,000 to $9,000, mini houses in the backyard, something like that. So it could be really, really good because it could give affordable living for vets or homelesses, like it could be really, a really amazing opportunity. So I believe also Tesla has Cancerian energy itself, just so you know. So this Jupiter going to do Tesla a favor, and not necessarily with the car, but with the new Tesla houses. Okay. But definitely cyber attacked or attacked in public. And we all know Elon Musk is very emotional and crying a lot, and he cannot take what is that criticism where so if somebody attacks him again and win over him in his games he might have a public tantrum again, so that could be as well. But definitely Trump's Epstein file could be leaked right now. And I think it's going to happen. So the public is so eager to know what's happened over there. We still have a lot of blind people. We still have that kind of cult, which no matter what, they're not going to listen or they are not willing to expand their mind, whatever. But okay. There is also going to be some kind of um, it could be bringing in a power struggle in affected areas, right? Because Pluto in Aquarius, obviously, it's power for people, but is actually detaching humanitarian aids, for example, what's happening the famine in Gaza, right? But it could be also something with Ukraine and Russia. But they could create some kind of ceremonial handshakes, like they agree they're not going to continue the war, but behind the scene, they still negotiating. It is just out in the public, which is like, okay, we're going to create peace, but or we're going to stop right now the attack against Gaza, or but it's not really going to. It's an act. It's very theatrical because Leo is theatrical, unfortunately. Uh, yes, and but what else could come? New crypto platforms as well. Um, and as I said, holographic festivals, anything to do with holograms. And also, I'm more concerned about cyber attacks right now, even because of the Pluto in Aquarius opposition. So cyber attack could be something what we don't want. But there is also cyber activism, not just attack. And as I said, people are going to use their platforms to protest, to protest in broadcast, podcast, underground people, against the government. So that's very, very important. Okay, guys, what else? And it could be resignation in leadership. People like, all right, either they're sick or they cannot have the public pressure anymore, or they don't want to have their nastiness leaked out to public and lose everything. So they rather resign with some kind of banal, uh, you know, um, um, story behind it. Also, it could be some kind of solar-based spiritual movement, but it's not just spiritual movement. It could be some kind of solar-based new energy coming in as well. Yeah, we're gonna use more solar panel, for example, and it's gonna be available for everyone. It could be also some kind of military parade as well, because Saturn and Neptune is in Aries, and Aries ruled by Mars. And because it's trying with the new moon, right, which is a parade, which is very theatrical, it could be some kind of, just like Trump throw that on his birthday, whatever. So that's, you know, we can have that again somehow, some kind of military, parade. But also we're going to have some kind of, the youth is going to rebel, and they're going to uprise against control, the power in Aquarius. They don't want censorship or leaders. They're going to rebel against, they're going to protest. And we're going to see a lot more protests the next half year in universities as well. A lot more protests, right? All right. Uh, and the other thing what we have to talk, we're going to actually uh, talk about some kind of public trials as well, not just PDD, but I think Kanye West going to be in center of attention again. Um, and it could be also some kind of media stock going to crash somehow on stock market. So as I said, either Netflix going to be bought or merged together with something, or it could be also not just media stock, but it could, yeah, media stock because of journalism. For example, Forbes magazine, New York Times, Toronto Star, things like that. They could also have a platform on social media as well, and they can also have stocks as well on the stock market. So definitely it could somehow, because maybe they're going to be sued because of fake news. Trump is suing for 10 billion right now. I think New York Times, but that is banal again. So yes, all right. We're going to talk about each individual signs, and I have here my little wheel, and I'm going to go to areas because we need to know. So the moon is going to happen in your fifth house, and Pluto is in your 11th house, right? And yes, and then you have in the first house Saturn and Neptune, obviously. So, all right, what's happening in your fifth house? Fifth house is joy and creativity, romance, and your children being a plow too. You might going to get pregnant. You might going to have a new baby. Actually, you can have a new romance, a new lover coming into your life, a manager, something to do with a new sport league if you want to sign up. You can gamble, and careful with gamble though, because you can be under a bad influence of some kind of peer pressure, and you can lose a lot, even with investment. And if you collaborate with others, you really have to be disciplined. However, your artwork with hard work could actually get far away, and it could be, you can be applauded for, and you can be recognized, and it could bring in some kind of long-term promises, because Saturn Neptune is in your first house. You just have to be really mature when you do investment, so not to risk a lot, because then it could bring in some kind of um, fall for you. But otherwise, there is a lot of performative joy, and you are going to have a lot of boundaries with a lover, boundaries with children. So it is good for you. And then we're going to have also, let's talk about Taurus, for example. And Taurus rising, for example, you're going to have. Okay, so you're going to have Uranus in your second house, you're going to have Leo new moon in your fourth house, and you're going to have Pluto in your 10th house. So there is a major issue between family struggle and career, for example, and 12th house you have Neptune and Saturn, right? So what does it mean? So there is a new cycle for you around family matters, real estate, because Leo is happening in the new moon in your fourth house over there. And and then anything to do with ancestral knowledge. So you might going to get an inheritance, you might going to sell your house and buy a new one. A move is possible for you, right? And it could be also, like if you inherited something about, how a home or family is supposed to look like, it's going to actually uh, not solidify, but actually you're going to outgrow that kind of belief right now. Uh, Also, the new moon is sextile Uranus in Gemini, and that is actually in your second house. So you can actually have an amazing opportunity to sell a house with profit, right? You also can have some kind of side hustle, like cash coming in, some kind of, or you can actually create a home office and do some kind of digital art, or some kind of digital income could come in for you. You might going to invest in cryptocurrency, but you're doing that from home, or start to day trading as well. And it's going to oppose Pluto in Aquarius, and it is in your career zone in your 10th house. So, it is like, as I said, the public image and private life, it's going to struggle, for example. And you at home, you have to be more loving and more childlike, but in your public image, you are going to be more detached as well. And your family needs a lot of attention. So that's why it's going to have tension between family and public life. Saturn and Neptune, because it's trining with it, you can actually get rid of family karma, ancestral karma, or some kind of family addiction as well. Or you might going to find actually on the ethics something which is in your grandma ethics, something which is very valuable, and you can sell it, and it's going to be amazing. Gemini rising sun and moon, Leo, it's in your third house real estate. So third house, it's anything to do your neighbor, familiar, anything to do with your sibling, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, your vehicle, workshops. It's great schools as well. And then ninth house, long distance traveling, third house is younger siblings, short distance traveling, ninth house is older siblings, long distance traveling, philosophy, anything to do with studies, anything to do with immigration, passport, things like that. So, this is an opposition over here. So Gemini rising, it could create some kind of issue with traveling. Your your Tesla or your electric car might going to actually give up the battery and you have to purchase something new. Or it could be something to do with you can also have some kind of bad news about maybe an uncle and aunt, for example. You can get distance with a sibling as well. Some kind of issues, about the way you behave, or maybe your children, like they don't like the way your children behave. But it could be that as well. But also with your neighbor, it could bring in some kind of issue with neighbor as well. And you're going to have Uranus in your first house, so everything is changing about you. Everything you're going to get into digital art, digital currencies, anything to do with technology. You're going to learn everything. Going to click. It's gonna be easier to study, to learn. Mm, it could be also like you meet someone and or you meet your sibling. You never know you had a sibling, a younger sibling, for example, and or an older, because it's also trine with Pluto Uranus over here. So it could bring in some kind of relatives what you didn't know about unexpectedly. And then 11th house Neptune Aries, you're going to put a lot of boundaries between you and social group, and who you actually going to event, and who you attend events, or you're going to clean out your friends and cut it out as well. Like, yes, that can happen for you guys. Rebrand yourself, because you're craving for freedom and you feel like outdated. But, there's going to be also humanitarian and spiritual calling for you as well. And yes, so that's definitely for you guys. And yeah, travel restriction could happening because Uranus, Pluto is in your ninth house. Cancer rising sun and moon, it's going to happen actually your second house, that is financial axis. You might going to actually purchase a luxurious house, for example. And then it could be also like you get something like a new gig, some side kind of side hustle, which is turning out to be profitable, and you can become actually pretty well known out from that. And Pluto is in your eighth house, anything to do with shared resources, taxes, debt relief, things like that, mortgages. It could actually create some kind, you can have inheritance in, and because of the inheritance you don't need to work anymore. You can or work for money day by day, for what is that, mm, you can actually do your job, which is purposeful and you really love, because Leo is in the second house. Uranus going to be in your 12th house. It's going to bring in some kind of amazing insight you're going to download from the Akashic record. You meditate, you have visions, you wake up in the morning and you just try to write a book. It could also bring in for you actually some kind of opportunity from abroad, from faraway countries, which could be like some kind of technology or some kind of breakthrough with hidden information over here. So that's definitely a new modality, something which is really, really intuitive and also innovative as well. And it is like just an amazing insight. But you can also recover from some kind of neurological issues as well. And because of its opposing Pluto, if you have any kind of an entanglement with someone who is karmically pulling you down, or it could bring in a good prenup for you, or yeah, a prenup. And Saturn, Neptune in your 10th house, so there is also stability in your career. Your dream job could be actually finalized. So this could be really, really good for you. All right, Leo rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your first house. Everything is about you. And Saturn, Neptune is in Aries, and Saturn, Neptune actually is in your ninth house, training with it. So amazing opportunity to go abroad and live abroad, get your passport, get your citizenship, get into a beautiful, what is that? Get a new philosophy or teaching position, for example, some of you in universities, or some of you going to become an exchange student, going to teach outside of the country. It could be as well. Um, and it could be finalized right now. It is also like a sextile with Uranus in Gemini, and that is happening in your 11th house, which is collaboration with a new community. And it is like stepping into a cycle and a circle, which is like very unfamiliar and really weird at the beginning, but it's going to lead to some kind of amazing new project for you, something with humanitarian values as well, right? And the new moon also opposing actually Pluto in your 7th house. So it could end a relationship for some of you, right? Or it could be like put your relationship under magnifying glasses. If you've been controlled by others, you won't allow that anymore. You are like, okay, I'm waking up. I don't want that. And, it could lead to divorce, but it also could lead to marriage proposal as well for some of you. All right, and then Virgo rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 12th house. 12th house, anything to do with your subconscious. It's the hidden, it's anything to do with your dreams. Underprivileged people, hospitals, it could be like you become a nurse or a leader, CEO in a hospital, for example, surgeon, heart surgeon, the leading heart surgeon as well. But because of it is actually trine Saturn, Neptune in Aries, and that is in your eighth house, that is toxic relationships going to be over, for example. Anything, it is a spiritual awakening, it is a deep insight. You might going to actually download messages, or talking to the ones who passed away, for example, as well. And also it's sextile with Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house. Your 10th house, your career is totally taking a new turn, guys. It is something to do with leadership, reputation. It is unexpected. It is actually a shock. Either you are stepping down or stepping up on the ladder as well. Your private life, it's going to become very important right now. Um, because of you're going to have a lot of attention, and Uranus is demanding. It's breaks the mold. It's very, very, it's like a thunder, it's like a lightning. It's coming, like something goes viral, and you get a lot of attention, and maybe you were not ready for it or up to it. And the new moon also opposing to Pluto in the 6th house. That's something to do with your health. Health, uh, you know, um, revolution over here. You might going to need another professional for a second opinion, or It could be like, all right, I need to do some kind of parasite cleansing because of it's also affecting me emotionally, some kind of detoxification, or I'm going to confront someone who is abusing me at work or in my tenancy, or if you work in private hospital, sixth house as well. Careful with your pet if you have any, because it could bring an ending to a pet life, you know. Libra rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 11th house, right? And then it's going to actually be ninth house Uranus. And then we do have Pluto in your fifth house opposing the new moon. And we also have your seventh house Saturn and Neptune conjunction. So actually, the 11th house, anything to do with community goals or anything to do with, you know, like the collective itself. That is your social tribe, your social platform, your friendship zone. That is your VIP money from your career. So it could be like you're going to get a promotion, you're going to get some kind of bonus paid out for you. You being called to do something creative, and it could be through a friend, for example, or through an event. You can become an event planner as well, collaborating with others. And it's sextile Uranus in Gemini in your ninth house. So that one could be some kind of global expansion, and it's going to get a spark, and it's going to get, or you're going to put your money in some kind of out of country technology, you know, something invest in a tech board, for example. It could be, and it's going to give you some kind of big free financially. And it's also going to oppose in the fifth house in Pluto. You know, that could be a toxic romance and you have to end. Or it could be something to do with your children because of the dynamic over there. They are overwhelming, they don't listen, and you have to become more powerful and or more detached because maybe you are helicoptering and overprotecting, and you have to, you know, honor their sacred place as well. So yeah, it could be that as well. But it could be also like something to do with performance in public and in personal life as well. You know, you like to do creativity, but you don't like to put that out in for public, and someone is pushing you to do that. So Scorpio rising sun and moon is going to happen actually in your 10th house of career. Uranus is in your 8th house in Gemini, and Saturn Neptune in your 6th house. And then you also have Pluto in the 4th house. So what's going to happen over here? You know, a 10th house, new job, for example, right? It's very, very important. It's training with your work. So career and work going to be really alike. So you're going to do something and work for someone or for do something what you really like. And it's not just a job, it's going to become a career in long term. You know, a new role like a CEO, and it's going to become permanent because Saturn is over there in your sixth house. It could be like also you are going to have a long-term tenancy, or it's going to receive some kind of recognition, which is going to have a long-term uploading. So you're going to be in a position for a long time and you master it. And then it's going to sextile Uranus in the eighth house. Obviously, there is opportunity to transform your life through technological investment, NVIDIA, anything to do with uranium, anything to do with cryptocurrency, Solana, ChatGPT, you know, like what else? XRP, XLM. Yes, it could be really good for you if you have Scorpio rising sun and moon. And also it could be profitable, something with tax refund if you haven't filed your taxes right, or some kind of tax forgiveness could be also. It could also bring in some kind of unexpected sex affair, you know, because eighth house, unexpected pregnancy for some of you, which is going to change the status in society because you're going to be viewed like a father or mother and you haven't been before. And it's opposing Pluto, and it's the fourth house, anything to do with your ancestral karma and roots, you know. family power games, they pulling oh, don't take this job because you're gonna be far away and I don't want you to be, like, or it could be some kind of emotional trauma as well. It could be also like you are losing one of your and get inheritance, which could be a house actually, because you're losing a parent if your parents old enough. Sagittarius rising sun and moon, as I have a Sagittarius rising myself, uh, it's going to happen actually, Leo, in our ninth house, anything to do with philosophy, anything to do with foreign affairs, anything to do with um, um, the high education degrees, older siblings, long distance traveling. It could be like you can get a citizenship, you can get a passport, you can have some kind of publishing. Your podcast could go viral, for example. Because this is rules YouTube as well, so your YouTube channel could grow, for example. There will be also something to do with teaching and how you're going to present your work. Is it going to be in small group, Pluto in Aquarius opposing, or is it going to be out in the public? Are you going to do journalism and write newspaper, or are you going to teach a bigger audience, for example? And there is a struggle over here. You're going to be, for example, third house Pluto over there, that's clientele over there. So do you want to do one-on-one client, or do you want to teach the public? So it could be as well. But yes, what I wanted to say, Uranus is in your seventh house. In Gemini, it is over there frustration in relationship. You want to break through. You don't want to be handled as before. You want liberation, and you want to be. You want to have a relationship which is not traditional, which is not controlled. And Also, Uranus in the Gemini, it is sextile with the moon. It could be because of that's your followers. It's like one day to another. You have 5,000 followers and it becomes 100,000 overnight. It could represent that as well. All right. Yes, so definitely there is some kind of new contract in your relationship, but it could be like an unexpected marriage proposal or a breakup, for example, a divorce, which is liberation. Both of them is liberating. Or, it could be like a new collaboration with people who you thought you never going to collaborate with. And Pluto is in your third house. It's a mental purge over there, right? Outdated thinking, toxic siblings, neighbors are gone, and you're not going to be obsessive, or you might going to be obsessive because Pluto is obsessive over it. But your communication pattern also going to get wide open and change as well. And that's what I see for myself anyway. I'm changing a lot. Anyway, I told you guys sometimes I don't take a breath, and very 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 funny because a lot of people criticizing me and saying like take a breath, but I'm a Buddhist and I'm chanting 3 hours, for example, sometimes, and when I'm doing Nam Myoho Renge Kyo for 3 hours, I take the breath through my nose, so I get used to breathe through the nose and talk, so I can talk everybody's head off. So that's for sure. All right, Capricorn rising sun, and it's going to happen actually in your eighth house. There is some kind of inheritance, something coming, maybe a pregnancy, maybe there is some kind of prenup which is going to be lucky for you. It could be also a tax refund. It could be something if you had some kind of cyber attack or something to do with identity theft. There could be like a solution. Right now, the detective finds, who did that, who stole your money, things like that. And Uranus, Pluto is in your second house. Obviously, and there is an opportunity for you to recreate your financial status, and it could be very powerful. It could be through inheritance or through other people's money, you finding crowdfunders who can invest in you. But it could be also new gig for you as well, new opportunity. Maybe you do something with AI, with cryptocurrency, and it's increasing your finances. But there it's also, Saturn Neptune is in your fourth house. you actually might going to find your dream house. You might going to sell a house or buy two more, Neptune, Saturn in the fourth house. One of them is around lake and ocean, other was in the mountain, a cabin, a cottage, whatever, but it could be that as well. And the second and fourth house are sextile. So that could be also very, very positive. So as the eighth house and fourth house get mortgage or sell something for profit as well, you can renovate your house as well. Careful with pipe, breaking something with heating pipe somehow, or heating water heater, it could something break over there. All right. Aquarius rising sun and moon. Pluto is in your first house, major transformation for the next 20 years. Leo is in the seventh house. It could be a proposal for you. It could be an engagement or actually a marriage within 6 months. It also could give you a lot more followers on social media as well. And then you do have Saturn, Neptune in the third house, so your neighborhood is changing. It could cut out some kind of neighbors or siblings because you have enough from their gossip or niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, or their, malefic, controlling behavior. But definitely, Pluto in the first house, it's a major, major transformation for you. And for example, the new moon in Leo, it's a mirror for you. It's mirroring, right? So it is like, what do you want in your partnership? There is a power struggle. How do you want to actually handle your domestic partner, your significant others? There is anything karmic between you? Is it heavy right now? There could be also some kind of written agreement, as I said, maybe just a new business partnership as well. And the new moon also going to sextile Uranus in Gemini. And Uranus in Gemini, it's the fifth house, unexpected pregnancy. It's a firework of joy and creativity, for example. Very, very brilliant, intense romantic affair, for example. Out of nowhere, you fell in love and you can't control it. Yes, and then also opposing Pluto in Aquarius. Yes, that is your first house. Yeah, that is the relationship over here. Or actually, that is how you reflect your shadow because it's mirroring, right? How you see yourself. What are you hiding in front of and from yourself? And then we have Pisces rising sun and moon. I'm a Pisces sun myself, but Pisces rising, the new moon is actually going to happen for you in your sixth house. Sixth house is work, it's your tenancy, it's your colleagues, it's your health, it's your work, your pet as well. You might going to get a new pet, adopt a new pet. You're going to reboot your health definitely. And you're going to have different values because it's also sextile, Saturn and Neptune in your second house. So something to do with financial values. You can invest in real estate if you want to rental properties, to buy rental properties and sell. And your routines are changing right now. You're going to be more youthful and more joyful as well. And yeah, and then 12th house, Pluto in the 12th house, it could be a little harsh because you might going to download a lot of psychic information and it's going to be overwhelming, or you have actually it could bring in apnea, but also it could bring in some kind of nightmares and night terrors as well. So that could be that. But also it could be like, okay, I am actually have psychosomatic issues, or maybe I have some kind of addiction. I have to get rid of that. And then it's going to improve my health. So that could be as well. And Uranus is in your fourth house and it's in the family, home, and roots. And, it's going to give some kind of flashes of liberation. You might going to have someone moving out from your house, maybe a child, or, it could bring also a sudden move for you. So definitely this new moon, you can sell a property and you move suddenly. Breaking away from something what felt like a jail for you. And and you're getting liberation and you can breathe again. And the opposition with Pluto, as we said over there, it could be some kind of jealousy and sabotaging from a colleague if you are working, or a tenant, for example, as well. So be careful, because that could create some kind of spiritual blockage. But also, you are working on your shadow. And if you are healing it, you rebirth like magical as well. All right, guys, I'm not going to do what is that? I forget sometimes the meditation right now, because I just got home from Mexico and I'm very, very tired. I'm exhausted, but I'm back and I'm doing everything as I said and promised next year. Because I have South Node, I have my Sagittarius rising, South Node is in Virgo in my 10th house. I'm totally restructuring my channel and everything. And we'll see who is it going to manifest. But I'm happy even Jupiter gonna go to my 9th house. That's gonna be my platform, my publishing and everything. So hopefully everything is changing around my YouTube channel as well by that time. But as it is right now, I'm still working my butt off. And I do hope you are, enjoying my videos, and I'm going to see you soon. Bye for now.